right, so this is how we're going to get started,
Okay.
Topher. I don't know if you can do it while you're in the office doing this, but remember at the poker table,
Yep.
you were giving those big loud woo.
Woo!
There you
Yes.
go.
I mean,
Gonna get yourself in
it's gonna be
trouble.
like, yeah. Hopefully, I don't get in trouble for that.
Topher Keefer, yes, my sales partner, my friend. How many years has
Yes.
it been?
I don't even know. Over 10 years.
Wow, wow. I always think about that. I like the way that we came together because you used to, we're in event planning and you were part of an event for one of our babies. And then when you decided you wanted to make a shift into real estate, you called me and I went, yes, yes, you will come
Well,
to
it
me.
actually didn't go like that. I tell this story. I tell this story all the time because it's a great story. We were friends at Braemar, and I was really looking for a career change. And I
Mm-hmm.
was leaning towards, which I told you, I was leaning towards elementary school teaching because there's not enough men in elementary school teaching. And then I was also really interested in real estate. So I
Mm-hmm.
called you on the phone and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about this. Do you mind if I take you out to coffee? And you were like, oh man, there's so many people want to get into real estate. It's a cutthroat business, and it's horrible, blah, blah, blah. And then in a
Mm-hmm.
classic sales, Scott Nell sales pitch at the very end, you're like, but at Topher, I think you'd be a natural. I want you to meet me and my team first thing in the morning at 8 o'clock. That was the John Arrow group in the corner office. I
Mm-hmm.
came and I've been with you ever since.
That's
That was
true.
it. That was it.
Even before you got your
Even
license,
before I got my
you
license,
were
I was,
you were
yeah,
sitting outside in the cubicle
was
and
making
just
presentations. I was
listening in
making
and
listing presentations. I was
uh-huh.
working on comps while I was getting my license. So yeah, I was just kind of taking it all in for sure.
No, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And now all these years later, you're a seasoned agent. You're an agent that I would be proud to have represent me. I mean, I
Okay.
think you're great at what you do. You know what you're doing. You got great all your great resources, and then you got the ability to topherize things.
Yes. You tend to lean on the topherization of things quite a bit.
Yeah, I might have to again soon based on a deal I'm trying to get closed right now. I'm going like, it's going south and I'm going like, I don't know why, but maybe
Well, I think
Topher
we're
can.
we're a great team. You're a great mentor, and I think you and I have very similar styles.
Mhm.
Coming from a different background, maybe we both had different backgrounds before we got into real estate. So maybe I
Mhm.
just think things differently, or something like that. The members of Braemar could be tough, so you have to kind of, how can I make this right? How can I fix this? So thinking outside of the box, I'm pretty good at seasoned.
Yeah, no, you're not pretty good at it. You're great at it. Plus I learned from you too. There's deals we were talking recently about a deal that I was going like, you wanted me to help you, and it turns out that you're the one that came up with a way to get it done. And I'm going like, God, that's a better way than I was thinking. And
Oh, is that
so
the one? Is that the one in the desert?
yeah, you came up. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I did not
That
want
could
to.
be a good story, by the way.
That's a great story. I love that story. I was actually since day one. You've told me I want to help you and your family. That's important. I want to help you buy real estate. And Los Angeles is tough. It's a tough market. Not people want to buy, but they just can't. During COVID, we found Joshua Tree, which is an amazing place, and we found 29 Palms, which is just adjacent to Joshua Tree, and we found this place that we wanted to purchase. And I didn't want to represent myself, so I came to you. I was like, Scott, can you do me a favor? Can you represent me? I want to keep an arm's length away from this transaction. I know it's in the desert. And you were like, absolutely, Topher. And you drove out there. It's like 2.5 hours. And you're like,
Yeah,
all right, let's
I
let's
remember
do
the
this. Let me
wind.
see this. Yes, yes. And so we got the offer accepted, which was great from your help. And then things just kind of went um, they just kind of went silent. Things weren't getting
Hmm.
done.
Hmm.
It was a duplex, and one of the sides was vacant, which is fine, but the other side had some tenants in it, and
Hmm.
doing research and my gut, I didn't want to take on a tenant. I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to start fresh with my own tenant. I wanted to be able to get inside and fix it up. And things weren't happening. And I mean, you're busy too. So you're like, I don't know. She's not returning our phone calls or anything like that. And the tenants won't leave. So
That's
I
a
was,
problem.
it's a problem. Well, also because your loan only lasts for so long before
Right.
you only can lock it in for so long. And this 30-day escrow turned into close to 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
I to this day, I don't know if I've been in a longer escrow in my professional career than this one transaction that you helped with.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't get these tenants out. So I was talking with my wife, and we were, how are we going to do this? And we came up with an idea that let's offer the tenants $2,000, 1,000 from us, 1,000 from the owner, so we can split it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to take up. I'm already paying
Sure.
X amount for the place, and let's offer it to the tenants upon vacating the premise. But the idea was not to give them cash
Mm-hmm.
because they could just blow it on whatever.
And
So if
stay.
they needed a U-Haul to get their stuff out, if they needed a storage unit, if they need movers to help them move it out, we'll pay for all of that up to $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the other agent pitched that to their owner, and we did it. And it went to the final hour. They were still
Mm-hmm.
there, like on day 59 or whatever it was, but they got them out.
But
And
what
then
you did was interesting though, because offering them money is one thing, but you said, why don't we do this? Because you said, what is the issue? Because we had a conversation. Tell us what the issue is, so we can. Because we don't. If you don't tell us, we can't help. And it
right,
was they don't have the money to get the truck. And you said, well, I don't want to give them the full amount. So you said, why don't we give half of it up front, and right as they leave, we'll hand them the other cash. We'll just there.
exactly.
That was beautiful. I thought, wow. And he says, I remember you saying that. I wonder, but is there a chance it still could work and they keep the money? I said, well, yeah, but here it's only $1,000. If you keep a
Right.
bad tenant, that could become thousands. So that was when you brought that up. I went, okay, all right. I like the way this guy's thinking. That was fun.
Yeah,
And now
and
you own
we
real
just
estate.
celebrated Thanksgiving there this past weekend. We couldn't be happier. Place looks great.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Mhm.
Okay, so tell so what you I'm sure you've got other stories. I can think of a few.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh
so
yeah, I got stories.
all right, well, okay, let me hear a little bit more. Are you drinking vodka, or what are you drinking now for the real estate health show?
Just water. Just water.
Same, but it makes a better story if
I wish
it's,
it
if it's
was.
vodka.
We'll
Yeah.
we'll talk about that. That's for later.
Okay, fair
That's for
enough.
later. What can I say? Stories. Well, there's one story I know that you like that we talk about that you gush about to friends and colleagues, somebody on your team.
Hmm.
I got referred a listing in Studio City a few years
Oh,
ago,
I love this one.
and I thought, the person that referred me is a really close personal family friend.
Hmm.
So I thought, okay, no problem. I'll just show up, be Topher, get the listing, and go from there. The property was their mother's house. It was a brother and sister that had to decide what to do with mom's house. So mom had passed. They grew up in this house. So there was some feelings there, but in
Hmm.
all actuality, they wanted it sold. And mom had let it run down. She was getting on in age, so she
Hmm.
let the house go to hell. Go to hell, Scott.
You can do that. You can do that on this show.
Going to hell.
Hmm.
So I get to the interview, and I was there for an hour. I actually had to interview for this listing, and I
Hmm.
don't think I got it. I was like, what just happened? I just got referred
Hmm.
this great deal in a house right near my house, and I was not prepared. I answered everything I could, and I
Hmm.
think I did pretty well. And I got a call the next day. I told my wife, I don't know how I screwed this up, but I don't think I got the listing. Uh, I really don't know how. And it was the friend of my family friend that was giving me the grief. So I was like, what's
Mm-hmm.
going on? I called him up. He's like, yeah, he's just that way. So the sister was the one that really connected with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I got the listing. And this house was basically in a great neighborhood south of Ventura Boulevard, and the house itself was a teardown,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
It needed so much.
It needed so much work, straight out of the 70s, 60s kind of vibe to it. We had a
Mm-hmm.
good vibe, but needed so much work. And so we're looking at the place, and okay, well, you can do this and this, and I think it's a teardown. But I had a sense the sister didn't want to hear that. The daughter didn't want to hear this.
Right.
This was mom's house. And so, well, let's get all this stuff out and we'll take another look. And we looked under the carpet, and there was these beautiful hardwood floors. We have a great wood floor guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I can have somebody look at it. These are gorgeous. But in a teardown, there's no sense in redoing these floors,
Right.
because we're going to just tear down the house. It's just going to cost you money. And so the husband of the daughter, I'm sorry, this is getting really confusing, but basically the husband said, who's a contractor, he's like, you should have those floors refinished. So I got our guy to come give a quote. It was, I think, within under $10,000. The floors look
Mm-hmm.
great, but what the key was getting those floors redone.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're gonna get the floors redone, why not paint it?
Right.
Why not,
Mm-hmm.
there's cracks all over the house. Why not bring in an inspector to make sure those aren't, faults, and just
Mm-hmm.
like, settling, which they were. So I had my painter patch them up, paint it. Why don't we paint the facade? Why don't we clean it up a little bit? Why don't we put
Mm-hmm.
some affordable staging in it?
Mm-hmm.
And I got them to fork out, I think it was like $25,000
Mm-hmm.
to clean it, to stage it, we painted just the front facade. So it has those
Mm-hmm.
great photos and everything. We staged it really well, and we put it on the market. And that 25, I mean, this is an anomaly, of course,
Right.
but I like we do. I put it on the market. We launched it on Friday. I did Taco Saturdays,
Yes, you
which
did.
that's a whole nother thing. We did Sunday, and then by Tuesday, I can't remember the number, but at least 10 to 15 offers. And I basically got them a cash offer of like 450,000 over asking.
Yeah. Yeah. You really, I thought
From
they were,
a teardown. So I ended up
right.
making them an easy $300,000 to $400,000 more than they would have actually got if they would have just went with another agent that didn't kind of think it out or anything like that.
Right. Well, I
Because
remember I
it's
came
tough putting
over.
money into something, but I was
Right.
thinking if you spend the money smart, you could make a lot more. And that's what we did. So we definitely hit it out of the park. And it was, yeah,
I would
I
say,
was really
yes,
happy.
you
She's
definitely,
to
yeah.
this day, Julia is one of my closest, dearest friends, and
Mm-hmm.
I consider her family after this transaction. So it was just a great deal. Great, it turned out really well.
The thing that impressed me the most was that when I came over and looked at it, and I thought, I don't know, man, I think this is going to be as is. Otherwise, you're going to just
Yeah.
highlight things that and it's going to make other things stand out because they're not done, etc. And then the next thing I hear, you're tearing up the carpet and you're doing all this other stuff. And I said, so how much do you think you're going to put in? Like, I think it's going to be terrible. And you said, like, probably around 25. I'm like, 25? How the hell are you going to do that? And you looked at the numbers and you said, okay, this is what's going to be, where are we going to get the highest return? You talked to them, they invested, and then they got that huge thing. I didn't see it. Normally, I'm the one that is the first one to
Yeah.
say,
Oh,
we got to put
well, that's what I mean,
not
Scott.
this
That's why I
one.
brought you in, because one, it was a
Yeah.
family friend. So I couldn't drop the ball on this one. So I really wanted your opinion, which I always do, because we work really well together. And I was thinking one thing, and originally I was with
You
you. I was
nailed
like,
it.
this is like a teardown. Like, what you spend all this money and you still only have, I think it was a 2-2
Hmm.
south of the border. It was, and one of the bathrooms looked horrible, like horrible, which I ended up having them
Oh,
paint as
are you
well.
talking about the
Instead
pink
of,
bathroom?
no, I kept the pink bathroom. That was
I
right
love
around the
that
Barbie
bathroom.
movie, so the pink bathroom was okay.
Hmm.
It was the one that looked like an add-on. I think their
Hmm.
father actually built it,
Uh-huh.
because I think originally it was like a 2-in-1 or something like that, and
Yeah.
they added this bathroom in the back.
Well, by doing the things you did, people could visualize what it could become, and they could still live in it and work on it. So that was the ticket, and so yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and that's what the buyer was. The buyer was a first-time home buyer,
Hmm.
with kids, for Carpenter just down the road. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, it was definitely a win-win all the way around. And yeah, I'm telling you, tacos on Saturdays, man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know you keep rubbing that in. I know. So why do you want to serve
It
agents when
doesn't
you can
flow.
get?
It doesn't sound as good. It doesn't sound as good as Taco
But it
Tuesday.
it,
Taco
it is.
Tuesday is where it's at.
I know, but it actually you had the plan and it worked out well. Yes, gosh, the return on that. What
Yeah.
about the one you did over in North Hollywood where it was a total disaster? And then you went in and did the same thing over that one, and then same thing with all these multiple offers. I'm trying to think of the one near the mall over
Did you represent the buyer in that one? Is that the one? I don't think that was North Hollywood, but there
there. I don't
was that
recall.
one during COVID in
I know
North
there was the
Hollywood.
one that had that extra room in the back, kind of like looked like an ADU and stuff, and
Mm.
it just another disaster of a house. And somehow you pulled it together again. How the hell did you do that on that budget? You're gonna make me look bad.
No, no, it's not that. It's a lot of times it's just being able to read you got to read the room. You got
Right.
to know, like, do you have a buyer? And most of my sellers are maybe like a half step. You have some higher clientele. It's true. You just got to read the room. Is this person willing to put out $80,000? Nope. Okay. Is this willing to fork up $25,000? Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then we can do A, B, C, and
Hmm.
D. Maybe we don't do E and F, but you always let them know about E and F, because it's all about a return on the dollar. That's what it comes
Totally.
down to. Where else can you make? And that's what sometimes I say that it's like, well, if you invest $100,000 and you can potentially make 250, where else are you going to make $150,000 in 30 days?
Right.
It's,
But the beautiful part is that you were, instead of just phoning it in and selling it as is, which would have been the
yeah,
easy way, and you would have gotten paid right away. You waited, you ended up waiting a couple months, but you did it right.
yeah,
So that's what I was
yeah,
impressed with.
yeah.
Another thing you did, I remember when, and I won't mention names, but it was
Okay.
an old musician's house,
Okay.
and you were representing the buyer on that. And I remember that all sorts of stuff came up in the inspection, and and my guy kept on saying, "Well, we're not going to give this. We're not going to give this." And in his defense, I'm going, "I understand why you wouldn't give that, but maybe you would give this. Maybe consider that." And it was very little, and the way that you finessed the situation, where when there were so many no's coming at you, I mean, how do you handle that when you go back to your seller or your buyer and go, I understand, but this is not an unreasonable request, but they're not going to do it. And so,
One thing I'm really good at is I listen.
mhm,
So, I will tell my client something, and instead of letting him, and then going straight into, oh, and then we have to do A, B, C, and D.
mhm,
I'll let them know what the situation is, and then I'll hear it from them and let them hear it
mhm,
out. If they're a couple, let them talk it over the phone with me or in person.
mhm,
And from there, let's put ourselves in their shoes, or
mhm,
things like that. Especially with inspection reports. I remember the very first inspection I went with you. and everybody was calm and cool, collect. I thought the world was coming down. Like the inspector was going, oh, and this and this and this and this. And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, this deal's going to go like, and it was all just normal stuff.
Right.
I did not have a poker face that first inspection, but I learned to have a poker face for inspections because it's like, there's normal stuff. There's always going to be termites in the valley. It's just a matter
Right.
of how much. Little things like that. So to answer your question, when you have a lot of no's coming your way,
Mm-hmm.
you just let them know it's like this is what they say. Do you want this
Mm-hmm.
place? If not, let's move on. Let's keep looking.
Right.
I'm very patient. I'm a very patient client when it comes to representing the buyers. I know agents that will show 5 houses and say, okay, pick one. And if you don't, then they're like, okay, I don't have time for you because they're moving on to the next thing. I'll stay with somebody as long as it takes to find the right place for them. So, yeah.
Yeah, you do have tremendous patience, and I think I have patience, and then I look at you and I go, no, I don't. Not in comparison to you. Definitely not.
Scott, you have great patience. And when you run out of patience, that's when you call me.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a call right after this. And so, all right. So any other stories you can think of right offhand? I mean, there's so many deals that we've done together over the years.
There's so many. No, not at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a great, obviously you're going to cut this out, but this is a great introductory to
Mm-hmm.
this.
Uh-huh. It's just a conversation.
So,
Yeah.
it's just a conversation, right? But I can think of some other things that, in the future, I'd like to talk about maybe some leases or leasing
Mm-hmm.
properties. So you can,
Sure.
leasing specialist, but I can't really think of anything, that's pertinent to talk
Just
about.
keep some notes. Every now and then, if you think something, just go ahead and
Yeah.
put it in a file or something. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And so we always like to wrap up with talking about something that's important to you, like if there's a cause or something that a charity that's close to your heart. Is there anything you want to share?
Well, yes, especially around this time of year. There's the North Hollywood Interfaith Food Pantry.
Okay.
They're really close to my house. They provide food for people Mondays and Fridays from
Mm-hmm.
6:30 to 11:30 for people in need. There's a lot of people in need these days with food costs going up, and I just really appreciate their organization and what they're doing there.
That's great. Very good. So, Topher Keefer, it wasn't that painful, was it?
It wasn't that much hell. No, not at all, Scott. No.
Yeah.